We can define poverty because the condition where the essential needs of a family, like food, shelter, clothing, and education aren't fulfilled. It can cause other problems like poor literacy, unemployment, malnutrition, etc. Have-not isn't ready to get education thanks to lack of cash and thus remains unemployed. A non-worker isn't ready to buy enough and nutritious food for his family and their health decline. A weak person lacks the energy required for the work. A jobless person remains poor only. Thus we will say that poverty is the root explanation for other problems. How poverty is measured? For measuring poverty, United Nations have devised two measures of poverty: absolute and relative poverty. Absolute poverty is employed to live poverty in developing countries like India. Relative poverty is employed to live poverty in developed countries just like the USA. In absolute poverty, a line supported the minimum level of income has been created and is named a poverty level. If per day income of a family is below this level, then it's poor or below the poverty line. If per day income of a family is above this level, then it's non-poor or above the poverty line. In India, the new poverty level is Rs32 in rural areas and Rs47 in urban areas. Causes of poverty according to the Nobel Lottery winner South African leader, Mandela. Poverty isn't natural, it's man-made. The above statement is true because the causes of poverty are generally man-made. There are various causes of poverty, but the foremost important is population. Rising population is putting the burden on the resources and budget of countries. Governments are finding difficult to provide food, shelter and employment to the rising population. The other causes are lack of education, war, natural disaster, lack of employment, lack of infrastructure, political instability, etc. For instance, lack of employment opportunities makes an individual jobless and he's unable to earn enough to satisfy the essential necessities of his family and becomes poor. Lack of education compels an individual for fewer paying jobs and it makes him poorer. Lack of infrastructure means there are not any industries, banks, etc. during a country, leading to lack of employment opportunities. Natural disasters like flood, earthquake also contribute to poverty. In some countries, especially African countries like Somalia, an extended period of war has made poverty widespread. This is often because all the resources and money is being spent in war rather than public welfare. Countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc. are susceptible to natural disasters like cyclone, etc. These disasters occur per annum, causing poverty to rise. Ill effects of poverty. Poverty affects the lifetime of a poor family. A have-not isn't able to take proper food and nutrition and his capacity to work reduces. Reduced capacity to figure further reduces his income, making him poorer. Children from poor family never get proper schooling and proper nutrition. They need to figure to support their family and this destroys their childhood. A number of them can also involve in crimes like theft, murder, robbery, etc. Have-not remains uneducated and is forced to measure under unhygienic conditions in slums. There are not any proper sanitation and beverage facility in slums and he falls ill often and his health deteriorates. A have-not generally dies an early death. So, all social evils are associated with poverty. Government schemes to get rid of poverty. The government of India also took several measures to eradicate poverty from India. A number of them are creating employment opportunities, controlling population, etc. In India, about 60% of the population remains hooked into agriculture for its livelihood. Government has taken certain measures to market agriculture in India. The government constructed certain dams and canals in our country to provide easy availability of water for irrigation. Government has also taken steps for a budget availability of seeds and farming equipment to market agriculture. Government is additionally promoting farming of money crops like cotton, rather than food crops. In cities, the government is promoting industrialization to make more jobs. Government has also opened ration shops. Other measures include providing free and compulsory education for youngsters up to 14 years aged, scholarship to deserving students from a poor background, providing subsidized houses to poor people, etc. Poverty may be a social evil. We will also contribute to regulate it. For example, we will simply donate old clothes to poor people. We will also sponsor the education of a poor child, or we will utilize our free time by teaching poor students. Remember, before wasting food, somebody remains sleeping hungry.